Welcome to Africa Speaks of today. My name is David Mulindwa, and I do hope that, as usual, and as always, you are having a wonderful time, especially this summer here in the UK. And wherever you are in any part of the world, I'll always emphasize that you have a good time, because you never know when the man upstairs may decide it's time to go. Now, welcome to Africa Speaks once again, and I do hope that, as I've already said, the time is the best that you have. Now, what have I got in today's program? A very, very, very interesting person is here with me today in the studio, and I want you to be extremely attentive with what he's going to say, because he's a man that I've known for quite a while, a long, long time, I should say, and he has held positions in certain areas that very few Africans or black people would be in. Now, the question we're trying to answer in today's program is, how are United Kingdom political institutions helping Africans in the diaspora? I repeat that question again. How are United Kingdom political institutions helping Africans in the diaspora? For many years after the independence of African states, so many Africans have been educated in the UK, and many have lived and worked here in the United Kingdom for years. They have married, had kids, and made the country, and made the United Kingdom their home. Today, the leader of opposition, Kemi Bandachu, of the Conservative Party, is of African descent, something unthinkable many years ago. The question is her success due to political institutions being more welcome to ethnic minority, or due to her individual effort as an individual? That is one of those questions that need to be looked at. Now, with me in the studio is Cllr Dr Sunny Lambe, the Mayor of Southwark. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Steve. It's great to see you again.
Yeah.
After how many years?
I don't know. It's years. In fact, we were in radio, and we also met on TV at some point. Yeah. And at the time,
and our functions as well.
Yeah, so many functions. Yeah, so many functions. And I should say a rising star at the time, but now a mayor. You could, in fact, you're a very good example that I could start with, that you are not raised by an institution. You fought your way up to the mayor of Southwark. It's not an institution that has forced. In fact, you're not the first. There have been several mayors who are blacks and Africans from ethnic minority. Right. So it's not the institution. It's the way you people have been, your credibility, your that's why you've reached where you are. So it's not the institution.
It's actually both.
It's both.
It's both, because I will tell you why it's both. You need to be in an environment that's conducive for you to grow.
Okay.
To explore the opportunities that it affords you. Of course, not many people will do that.
Yeah.
So I would say this country is a great country whereby it allows you to flourish.
Yeah.
Because if the environment is not conducive, if it doesn't allow you to prosper, to exploit, then there's nothing you can do. But I'm not saying it's perfect, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, because there's no country that is perfect on earth.
Yeah.
With its faults, I would say UK at all levels allow us, ethnic minorities, especially those of us we weren't born here. We grew up, we came here when we were old enough to know the difference between our left hand and right hand. Because when you are in your 20s, it's different. Whereas when you're a baby, it's different. So it allows, take for instance, you don't have to be rich. You don't have to have connections to get involved in British politics. Of course, I'm not saying you don't work for it. Take, for instance, you doing like I started. I was already active in the community. Tenants and Residents Association, work for volunteering in my local church, set up community projects, especially we know when Damilo Thilo died in Peckham. You know, I set up the Peckham Supplementary School, providing safe environment for young people to grow, to prosper. You know, teaching them Black history, drama, helping them with their own work and so on. So I've done my own apprenticeship of some kind. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, get your point.
School governor and so on. So I've done all that. So that allowed me to understand the system very well. I was the first union leader for part-time postal workers in this country.
Okay. In
In 89 to 94.
I've seen, and I was going through, and I said, wow.
So I've been involved for a long time. Well, I didn't want to go into politics. Funny enough, I didn't want to go into politics, but politics found me.
Politics found you.
Politics found me. So now, you know, I mean, so if you were to base it on my community involvement for decades, I would have started earlier in my life in terms of political involvement. Based on what I've told you, you know, when I started. I mean, I've been in this country for 39 years.
Okay.
You see, I came in 1986, 39 years ago.
You're the best role model. I think most of us will look at and say, I want to be like him. The trade union. If I looked at this, and it was very, very amazing. The places where the companies, I mean, the list is totally endless. I mean, Black Labour Movement, UK, Peckham Supplementary School, Southwark Youth Enterprise Project, Confederation of African Professionals, UK, Building Blocks Initiative, Black Business Club, Ethno News, Annual Achievement Recognition Award, and the list was going on, and I said, wow, what have I been doing? How does this man do this? And secondly, what have I been doing? I look at this, I compare this to myself. I said, what has this man, what has he got that I don't have? How come he's been, all these organizations, and I'm saying, gosh, how do you manage this?
And this is a man that he didn't start school until the age of 13, 14.
Okay.
I wasn't able to read or write. I didn't start primary school, I'm telling you, primary school on the age of 13, 14.
You started it very late,
You started very late. You know, when not everybody is fortunate enough to come with mom and dad together in a very complete family. I wasn't fortunate with that. So it affected, you know, my education. So I could have gone either way. I just thank God that, you know.
But I think it's the heart within you, the heart, the beginning of it, and the fact that you put your heart and your passion into most of this, and then you go on with that, you know. Because when I look at the political side of things, the way they are, and as the question comes, you said it's both. I mean, the diaspora, we're here, and we all got excited when Obama became president of America. Because that way we are saying, well, he's our man. But we're also now looking at, okay, what after Obama and after here? We're not seeing so many of them rising to ministerial status, or even raising to, okay, they've been ministers, they're MPs, and so on. But then you look at the institutions and you say, well, they're helping. Africans who are here have money to go to school, have money to raise up in their areas. But still, the ladder they haven't gone to the top, the very top of the ladder. In certain areas anyway, in the army, for example, and in the police, you don't look at many of them. They're getting the high ranked people. And then, of course, within the political parties as well, like where you are. Again, do we still think it is the system? It's not the system, it's the individualism?
You know, I mean, take for instance, I wasn't born here. And, you know, I told you I came 39 years ago. I didn't even come here when I was a bit young.
Okay.
You can see I still have my strong African accent. I haven't lost that.
I see that. I see it.
And thank God I haven't lost that, because with my name sounded posh, and you know, people probably, you know, a lot of people think I'm not an African. I've heard that. But on a serious note, You see, there's an African proverb, Yoruba proverb that says, "Ọmọ tó bá ṣípá làǹgbé." It means that, you know, when you see a child, a baby, smiling and towards you and, you know, giving that warm,
sort
inviting,
of welcome.
even if you don't like babies, you feel like carry that baby.
Exactly,
Hello, how are you?
The
same principle applies. Now, we may want to blame the establishment, blame everybody else. If we are not even taking, making good, you know, taking advantage of the opportunities that are in front of us, what can we do? You mentioned the Confederation of African Professionals UK. In the 90s, you know, we have so many black businesses now. And in the 90s, especially those of us who went, as you know, of course, I told you I didn't start school, but now I managed to go to university, qualify, MBA and so on. And we couldn't get a job. Because when you apply, they say you are too overqualified. And a lot of, you know, you remember in the 90s, early 90s, there are a lot of people who crossed when the old Soviet Union broke up. There are a lot of our people who crossed from Eastern Europe who came to the UK. Their qualifications were not recognized. They have to do conversion courses and so on. Now, that's when I then set up the Confederation of African Professionals UK in 1998.
Wow.
It was the first organization I set up. And that's when we started networking, sharing our concerns, our aspirations, and then looking for ways that we can make our life better. Then I then said to some of my colleagues that we used to do the networking events those days, okay, if you blaming the establishment, we're blaming the government, blaming the YS establishment and so on, that they don't want to employ us. Somebody created that job. Somebody created that business. If they did not create it, is there any job we're going to apply for? Why can't we start setting up our own small businesses? And that what got me into small and medium enterprise development and support. And then we do a networking event, you know, topical issues we explore, the one that we need to write to our local MP and so on. We started doing that. Then it was about in 2001, then I decided to set up Black Business Initiative. Which now metamorphosized into it's still BBI, but then became Basic Business Initiative, and now it's turned into it's now the name has been changed to Building Block. It's still BBI, but it's now Building Blocks. So in Building Blocks you will find, but that's the journey how it came to be. Then when Damilola Tilo died in 2001. Then I decided to set up the Peckham Supplementary School. So you have the business that is looking after, you know, the parents to create their own job, give them, counsel them, give them advice on how to set up their own businesses, train them on interview techniques and so on. And then, okay, how about these young people who are killing themselves? What do we do?
The knife crime.
The same year, I then set up the Peckham Supplementary School. So I set up something for the adults to explore self-employment, self-economic empowerment, and then something to keep the young people safe. And that's how the two projects started in 2001. I remember Peckham Supplementary School actually launched on the 30th of April 2001 by the local MP then, Harriet Taman MP. In St. Luke's Church, Peckham. So most of the projects you associate with me are born out of the necessity,
of course, the necessity
to empower
and the needs. And the needs,
to empower ourselves, the needs to empower ourselves. And, you know, funny enough, one of the young people that came to my office, Mayor's Parlor this afternoon, with her mom, asked me, you know, wanted to interview me, you know, how, you know, want me to mentor as well. And I tried to share that with her, that sometimes something just happened. And I'm a person that when I see a problem, I recognize like everybody else. and are probably even shocked by everybody else.
Yeah.
But immediately I come over, recover from that initial shock. Okay, what can I do?
Exactly.
What kind of solution can I offer? And then I start looking at solution. And if you have 10 problems, and then I take 1 out of 10, you don't have 10 anymore. No. We have 9. Yeah. And that's the way I think and the way I work. And that's why you see all these projects I'm involved in.
Okay, it's a good way in which you somebody can deal with the wealth creation, because that has been a major thing here. We don't create enough wealth as Africans. And I remember one former Prime Minister, John Major, mentioning wealth creation. He says, look, if it doesn't happen, it's because you haven't created it. True. You haven't joined in to create it. And people are saying, no. Africans especially, but you're pushing the fault to us. But the system doesn't allow us to create wealth, our own wealth. But then some other people have come in and have created the wealth themselves. So is it our fault that we're not?
I would say yes and no. Yes, in that, take for instance, for many years we always say access to finance. Yeah. We don't have access to finance because that's one of the major problems, especially for people from the black and ethnic minority community, and most especially black people. Okay. Finance is one of the issues for us. Yeah. That when we have big ideas in terms of access finance to set up that initiative to make it work is one of our biggest problems, even up till now. Yeah. However, you have an environment to be creative. Unfortunately, black people, most of the time we like to work in silos. Yeah. Yeah. We need to learn to work together. Yeah.
Team player. We are not team players.
Unfortunately, one of the problems is lack of trust among us. Yeah. Even you can't even trust your own member of your family, not less of somebody from another, community, or the Caribbean, or even within the Africans, even within Nigerian community, can you trust somebody from the east or from the north, or even within the Yoruba, can you trust even somebody from Abeokuta? No, you can't. I think we need, so that's probably from my own experience over 35 years now. I've been enterprise and develop. I can say this is what keep on coming up. So we cannot blame the government for everything. No. It's something we have to start dealing with in our own community because it's a generational thing.
Yeah, it's thing. Now, can that thing be educational? Can it be in a way that people can be educated to be team players, can be educated to, say for example, to work jointly, the way the Indians do. They train their children all the way, and the way the Turkish do, the way the, not the Italians, the Turkish, the communities that are here, that are extremely doing well with shops and all the other things. There's a lot of community cohesion and also being team players. You know, so-and-so gets rich, I'll also get rich tomorrow, and so on, that kind of thing. Do we need to retrain it, program ourselves so that we go to educate ourselves? Somebody wakes up and says, I'm going to be training Africans how to be job creators.
I think it's part of it. Okay, take for instance, I think we are very entrepreneurial. Yeah. No doubt about it. Take the Igbos, for instance. I would say the Igbos are the Jews of Africa. Very entrepreneurial. Very entrepreneurial. Yeah. The same thing with the Asian community. Yeah. They're very entrepreneurial. Yeah. They have work hard, and you know, I'm not Igbo, I'm Yoruba.
They have the work ethics.
Yeah, the work ethics they have. And then if you then go to the Asian, for instance, you can see that a few of them will put money together with one shop. Yeah. Maybe, and then the one person will be at the lowest level, and then we'll start with one shop, and then we put money together, buy another shop.
The next thing they have the whole town.
They have the whole town. By the time you realize, just go and look at Peckham, you know, and we black people, African and Caribbean, we say we are Peckhamites, we are all, but Asian control the economy there. Yeah. So why? And then who spend the money? We spend the money in their shops. And then when our own people set up something, business, we have a problem. Imagine we're talking about finance. That is one of the engines to setting up our own businesses and so on.
Yeah.
When we then set up our own businesses, customer care.
Yeah.
You walk in, they treat you as if you are coming to beg. Now, you may be a member of my family. I'm not going to buy from you because I'm spending my money.
Yeah.
And I'm being honest with you. Now, I know, even what I also notice that sometimes even our own is more expensive.
Yeah.
You want to buy certain food stuff, go to an African shop and go to an Asian shop.
Yeah.
You realize it's actually much cheaper in an Asian shop than your own.
One.
So your own actually want to exploit you.
Yeah.
However, maybe not the right word to say they want to exploit you.
Where they get the stuff from.
No, that's what I was going to go to.
Yeah.
Is economies of scale.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they have so many shops that they're going to deliver to. Yeah. So the supplier, wholesaler, they can get a better bargain than our own is on its own. And then because they say, listen, I have in East London, I have in Hackney, I have in Lewisham. By the time they combine together, they can dictate to the supplier
what amount they want to buy the stuff.
Or even they can go direct to the to the manufacturers and get the stuff. You see, we are not doing enough of that as black people. So that's why I'm saying, of course, the environment in terms of access to finance, is a historical problem we had. And it's not just not just Africans. The Asians know how to work their way around it. They pull their money together and they start small and become big. Where now, our own, maybe the world, if we get the money, the first thing going to buy is a BMW or Mercedes.
Instead of re-putting the money back into the investment, into the business.
So they have multiple of issues we need to deal with.
Now, the issue of investing in human resource, the biggest problem we have in Africa is human resource, but it hasn't been invested in. The countries are not investing into that. And then the issue of not investing into it ourselves has followed us here. And now you're in that position.
When you talk about human resource, well, I mean, it's at different levels, isn't it? I'll give you an example. If you go back to the 60s, 70s, and so on, you discover that our government will send on scholarship to come and study. So that what we lack, those are probably the time when most African countries are just becoming independent and so on. So our infrastructure, our government were not structurally not strong enough. So therefore you need to train all these people, to man all these institutions. All of a sudden it got to a point whereby we actually had more than enough to extend that. We don't even need to send people on scholarship anymore because they can also pay for it themselves. But what happened is they then found some expatriates, probably half as qualified as you, who is leading certain positions in Africa, in your country, that even as the example you gave me earlier on about, an incident that happened that when, you were disrespected, and then somebody, a white person then went there, and it is your own that disrespects you, not the white person. You can see. So we still have this colonial mentality.
It's true.
We need to find a way. We need to start working at that because if we don't start dealing with that, where's the confidence to take control of our own life and our own destiny? Where is it coming from? When you don't even want to respect your own and employ your own. Now we're blaming, let's agree that we're in a foreign country. This is Europe, right? Or America. So when they look at us, apart from those who are born and grew up there, those of us, they see us, but we still have opportunities to grow. Then if they then treat you like that in your own country, how does that make you feel?
No, it's not good at all.
And that's another challenging area we need to start working at. That actually the problem is bigger than what we're making of it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying those who are colonial masters of the power, I'm not saying they don't have their own internal indirect influence.
Yeah.
But our own people need to start waking up.
The role is of that. It's, as you are saying, yes, it's our own people need to do that. It's got to be ourselves.
Yeah.
Now, you have worked in many sectors, the public, private, and voluntary ones.
Yeah.
In your past experience, where are Africans more likely to succeed in all these sectors?
You can succeed anywhere. Just have confidence in yourself.
But which one is an easier route?
There's no easy. And I'll be honest with you. I work in private sector. I grew up in private sector.
Yeah.
I set up my own business. Unfortunately, I'm not. You see, you have to know your strength.
Yeah.
I'm not good at selling fish and chips or things, but I'm good at training people with sell fish and chips.
Okay.
In terms of strategy and so on. When it comes to teaching people how to manage finance, how to plan, business planning, thinking of what the customer wants, how to market like we are exploring earlier. Those are my area. You have to know where your strength is.
Okay.
And those are my area of strength. Now, in the private sector, when I used to, as a management consultant, whether a small business or one start thinking about it, or one's already started, or 18 months old or longer, I help them with their strategy from platform A to platform B and so on. Those are my area. So that also helped me when I then found myself in the let me see. Yes, I found myself in the voluntary sector, and then I realized things are done differently. Yeah, you have to, your hand in your back or in the front sometimes to go and beg for money to finance projects and so on. Yeah, all that happening. I learned about that. I also learned about how something could be very slow. Private sector is very fast. Yeah, private sector, because your competitors watching you, they want to steal your ideas if you're not careful. Yeah. But the voluntary sector, for instance, you begging for the goodwill of other people. Okay. Government or private institutions at any level harder, to give you money, extremely difficult. Because when that goodwill runs out, you can see most of the projects I told you I was, I set up, I was running. Yeah. I had to fold them up because when I was working in the private sector, through voluntary sector, I was actually, before I became salary earner in the voluntary sector because of things I was ordinarily doing free. And then we had appointed for me to then lead them to another level. Okay. Then I had to give up my private sector employment. I was working.
You couldn't handle both.
And also, even when I was working for a local authority, it's public sector. Yeah. Now I was working in public sector as well, and I had to, most of the projects I mentioned before, I was using the money I was earning, salary I was earning,
to take it in there,
to run those community projects like the Peckham Supplementary School and all even the network I was doing for unemployed members of our community, the mentoring and all the rest I was doing for them. I was the one paying for until when government, I remember that time, then government said, because we apply for so many times, they will tell you don't have track record. They will say you don't have, especially if you're a new organization. They want to, which is, of course, I can understand, but then sometimes I argue,
is that to frustrate you or not to do something?
No, it's very frustrating at the same time when you don't understand why. Of course, I'm not saying other people don't use it as an excuse to push you outside. I'm not saying, however, generally, because I've been involved in so many of these things, I can understand. If they are not convinced that you can actually manage public funds properly, and you have systems in place that are convincing enough that you'll be able to manage properly, they're not going to give it to you. You have to take for instance, husband and wife set up something and it's public fund. And it clearly says that somebody that are not related must be treasurer and one must be the secretary, and then find that the setup, there's no confidence there. So that public confidence needs to be there.
Good, right, So, but then again, also it depends on individualism. Who do you know? Because this is how the world operates. If you know somebody somewhere who's a prime minister, who's a governor, or who is in a public office, who has a much bigger voice than yours, then that sector can survive. You can survive in it.
I'm not naive enough to tell you that an element of that doesn't exist. I'm not naive enough to think that.
Yeah.
You know, every local authority, every government at all levels, especially as far as I know in this country, you have the public procurement process in place.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got contract from DWP, and so I've thrown project for them before. There's a process you have to follow. Of course, in terms of who will be on that list, is people they must have vetted, you know, to make sure they have all the system and procedures in place and so on. They make sure that they'll be able to manage public funds properly and so on. All that, of course, all that is a transparent way of doing it. Even when you look at in our countries in Africa, I'm sorry to bring it. How often do you hear them saying small businesses are welcome to come and tender for everything, for anything? How transparent is that? I mean, I've run so many government projects in this country. I wasn't born here. I'm not saying it's easy, don't get me wrong. But if I have to compare as somebody who came here 39 years ago, I've lived here for that long. I wasn't born here, but I'm educated here. I know how the system works and so on. And I could access government contract, could run government projects on my own as a director and so on. I played so many roles. And then compare how things are done in Africa. And I will always give 10 out of 10 or 9 out of 10 to the UK.
Of course,
than you know, in Nigeria, where I grew up. But I was born, because that's the truth.
The union, as a union leader many years ago. Can we learn something as Africans, not just in the diaspora, but as Africans, in how the unions operate and how the unions, because to a certain extent now that certain countries don't even want unions because with the minimum wage and the way things are going, they would rather people remain where they are so that for the peace of the countries being run properly, so that people, well, in Africa, that's how it is. But over here, again, you're always going to find that there is a fight somewhere within the union over issues of either pay or that. Now, there's the Labour Black Union. To be honest, I heard about it, I think, from you years ago.
The one I set up.
The one you set up.
Black Labour Movement.
Yeah, Black Labour Movement. Then, of course, the union afterwards. And I said, well, I think when he was in the Black Labour, you know, then he came to the union. Because there is always that fight between the top people within the unions and companies that are run, you know, they don't even, some of them, they don't employ them. If you're a member of the union, I'm afraid we don't have a job for you. They might not tell you directly, but somewhere along they fear the unions because of the powers.
I mean, I can understand. Take, for instance, when I became a post person, part-time post person in 1989 to 1994, and if we are working, public holiday like yesterday or weekend, we used to get paid single rate.
Okay.
The full-timers, we get all their rights and privileges, double or, all these things. Because the union, they went on strike and so on.
I know.
But the management genuinely wanted to change the way labor was organized. Not everything needs to be full-time.
Yeah.
And some of them introducing mechanization.
Yeah.
But the union, they have to look after their members.
Of course.
If they allow this new machinery to come in, we're going to lose our job.
Exactly.
Just like now we're talking about AI.
I was going to say that as well.
So this has always been an issue in every industry. And the union are there don't forget, the primary focus of every union is to protect their members.
Of course, yeah.
And the management also is to make sure to make profit, to make sure they run their organization. You can see where this,
the collusion always is. Yeah.
But what happens is the union, when they realized we became a threat to them, part-timers, they were even against us joining them so that we won't have any right.
Okay.
So I went to this meeting, and then I don't even know. Don't forget, I was only 3 years, 3 years old in the country, 89. And then we had this meeting because the issue's been going on many years before I arrived. And then I went to the meeting. I said something. They said, "Sonny, we want you to represent us." Everybody said, "I'm sure they want to set you up to fail because you just arrived. Yes, you don't even know what
do you know about this whole thing? You don't know anything,
And I remember saying, "Well, maybe it's true, but at the same time, you guys, I don't know what you see, what you saw in me, and you want me to lead. I'm sure if ants are united together, they can carry an elephant."
Of course.
That's an African proverb. So I said, so if we are united together, I'm sure, to cut a long story short, I worked with the leader at that time, I think it was Alan Toffin was the leader of the Union of Communication Workers that time. Then towards the end, in 1994-95, then Alan Johnson, the former Home Secretary, then took over.
Okay.
Because
is it the Alan Johnson who became
Home Secretary?
Home Secretary,
He's the one who became President. It's when I was leaving the post office, that when he became the General Secretary of Union of Communication Workers. That is now called Communication Workers Union. They just so of course, as you know, the relationship within the Union and Labour Party. Grudgingly, at least when they came, Tony Blair and all of them came in. Then they expanded the social contract. We have Europe, some of the European social contract elements. That's what all of us are enjoying today. So now, in a way, I play my own little role there.
To that,
Now, coming back to Black Labour Movement, if you ask 10 Black people, whether African or Caribbean, which party do you vote for? 7 to 8 of them will tell you they vote for the Labour Party. Then we then ask them, what do you gain out of it? Compare with other communities. So then Black Labour Movement, I set it up in a way to awaken
the Black people.
Black people, saying, you can't just be complaining all the time. Okay, be part of the political process. Join any party of your choice.
They'll listen to you more when you're part of it,
So, they will listen to you more. You can influence policies. And that's how Black Labour Movement was set up in 2016.
It's still existing?
Yeah, so in 2016, if you go blacklabour.org, you see, you can see Fanny. It's still existing. And we encourage a lot of people across the country to be part of the change they want to see by become member of the Labour Party in Scotland, in Wales, in England, and some of them have taken up the role. They've been elected, cabinet, cabinet or deputy cabinet, mayor, deputy mayor across the country. So that's a success story. Next year, going to be 10 years. Now, if you ask me in 10 years, I don't know. Now, that's another project of mine. That's a project.
There was no challenge from within the Labour Party itself so that we don't really need this kind of...
of course there was. Of course there was.
How did you fight that off then?
It was difficult.
It
was difficult. It was extremely difficult.
Because the Conservative tried it.
It was extremely difficult because some people think I was trying to set up my own party. I said, no, it's just a movement. I'm used to setting up a voice. I told you in the post office. I told you, so I almost didn't get selected for the second time, but we went through that. This is a troublemaker, I think. Despite the fact that the ward which I was selected, South Emancy, I'm still one of their councillors. Despite the fact that it wasn't a Labour old kind of, it was a marginal seat. Prior to my selection with my colleagues, Labour had not won there for 32 years. And then we worked together with my other two colleagues in 2014, and we won it. And then because I will start getting too too big for my own head, and and then that's when the Black Labour Movement thing started. That people back, we need to get more Black people. Sometimes you have to. Maybe that's my name is Lamb Chop, because I have to be the sacrificial lamb, to put it that way. I have to be become the sacrificial lamb to fight in order for other people to progress. Because if I didn't set up Black Labour Movement, make my only tune. I'm not a person that I go on the street and make noise. But I'm a strategist. Thank you, I'm blessed with that. So working with other people, we then find a very soft way of arguing our case. We'll identify those key decision makers that we need to appeal to. It's our own best interest for us to work together. And the same thing I did in post office, saying to the management, the post office management and the trade union, especially the trade union who didn't want to accept part-time postal workers, we call us associate grade those days. And I said, if you don't bring us in to let this part-time and my people to join you, when you go on your strike, the management will use yours to take your job. But the common enemy is the management. And that's how they accepted. That's how they accepted us as members. They start giving us a membership form, and the same thing with with the Black Labour Movement. If you don't start promoting Black people, you start providing opportunity. Choosing us in the safe seat, not just marginal seat like me. One day they will wake up and they start thinking of another party to support. And then we start working together, especially under the previous leader, Jeremy Corbyn, I must say. When he became leader, then he could see the message we're trying to put across. And then we were encouraged to participate in the political process.
It's one thing being supported and somebody supporting you, say that, for example, the Black Labour Movement. And another thing, providing funds, for example, to be part of the process, that there is a budget allocated for you.
And everything, you can't expect everything to be free in life, bro. I know. Everything can't be free in life. This one thing I learned. So, we pay £10
for membership.
Membership. And then we donate to Labour Party. When there's an election, no matter how small, you see, it's not how big, but the fact that you're doing something. We're not asking for freebie. People already know Black community will see economically behind. However, that doesn't mean we can't do. So
you can contribute as well. You can,
time as volunteers, and we, no matter how small, we donate to the Labour Party, and then the opportunity are opening across the country. I would say, as far as I know, at least Labour Party has more diverse membership
than the Conservatives,
I mean, I won't compare with even the tourists. However, I'll compare with when I first, joined. And then when you look at, especially in my borough, for instance, we have probably one of the most diverse in terms of leadership at cabinet or deputy cabinet level and so on in my ward. In my borough, Labour Party in Southwark, and some of the work we did, working with the leadership, working at all levels, at national, regional, borough level, has helped enormously over the 9 years plus that we started. And that's all you can do, really. Nobody will throw things on your lap. You have to work for it.
Of course, you have to. There is an issue of women. Women, well, coming in. Obviously, they're coming into power of Margaret Thatcher. They're coming into power of various Labour leaders, and you've seen. But there has always been an age, the Conservative versus Labour, and of course the other political parties now are trying to embrace the women's vote as well. And I'm looking at you, and I'm saying, even I think the lady you replaced she was a mayor, wasn't it? The
Naima, yes, Councillor Naima Ali,
yeah,
yes.
Yeah. So I'm looking at that and I'm saying, okay, with the Black Labour, the unions and so on, you've worked with women, I'm sure, on all that. How is that being encouraged in a way? Because we normally tend to, if we, especially, I mean, we the Africans in the diaspora, to look at the men more than we look at the women. In your experience, where would you compare the level of women's development? And
I mean, to be honest with you, you can argue that we don't have enough women in leadership positions.
Okay.
Take, for instance, I remember recently we just had our own leadership in Southwark.
Yeah.
And the previous leader, who's been there for about 10 years, I mean 5 years as leader, but because we were elected at the same time, 10 years, going to 11. So he stepped down. Now we have opportunity to elect new leader. And in fact, I remember saying I would like, you know, to have a woman leader so that, you know, because we say we are a very diverse, you know, progressive party. Then this opportunity for us to elect a woman leader this time around. Because the last time they were in my borough had a woman leader was 2002 or something. And so anyway, we have a woman leader now.
Okay.
In our borough. So that, you know, Councillor.
But then again,
Councillor Sarah King is our new leader, and it's a woman. So you know, so I'm very happy about that.
Okay.
Now, if you've read, I don't know if you read, I'm very strong when it comes to human development and empowerment.
Yeah.
I encourage, and young people as well. I encourage that. Funny enough, one of my mentees that came to see me this afternoon, I even mentioned that as well, why it's important. However, just like black people, I don't believe people should feel sorry for black people and put them in position of power. And same principle apply. I don't believe people should feel sorry for women.
They have to be capable of being in those positions.
And then,
because then they'll make the right decisions. Yeah.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And the same thing with black people. We be doing ourselves disservice if with people, because I'm black, there's no black person there, and the people who know me very well, they know this. I say, no, I don't want to be in a position because you want a black face, tick the box.
No.
I want me there to put me there because you believe I can do a great job.
Yeah.
And same principle apply for women as well.
Yeah.
However, when you find that whether black or young person, they need capacity building, we realize we don't have enough capable people to hold a position, because you will be setting them up to fail if you don't. So therefore, when we recognize that, okay, what should we be doing to prepare them for leadership at a point?
Successful leadership.
So that when we get there, and to give you an example, look at Mr. Chai's story, look at, if you go back to how she went through those days when men, especially when men control everything at all levels, she succeeded.
Of course, of course.
Look how many elections she won.
Yeah.
That's a leader who came out on merit. This is, whether, you see, forget about politics, forget about, I use her as an example all the time. Yeah. It's not going to be easy. And if you're going to be a leader, you have to prepare to work your socks up. Don't, I'm having an excuse whether, I'm a black person. No. No. If you want to lead, you have to develop the skills, the confidence to lead. Because you'll be leading men, women, black, white. You'll be leading a high subjugated group of people. Yeah. And therefore, your excuse about your gender, ethnicity, I'm sorry, it doesn't apply. So leadership is not for everybody. But if you want to lead, no matter whether color of your skin or gender, or, you must be prepared. I remember saying something today, even on yesterday, when I was opening the Bermondsey Carnival. Okay. Yeah. And I was wearing my, my robe as robe and as with the chain as, as mayor. People felt sorry for me.
Really?
Funny enough, before that, a few weeks or months before, I went to Borough Market, I went to an event as well, and it was very hot. And then, this young boy came to me. The same thing happened yesterday as well. Ain't you hot in this big costume of yours? The same thing I said to young lady that came this afternoon. I said, well, you know what? Sometimes duty before comfort. And that's what leadership requires. It's not because you're going to be comfortable all the time.
No.
As a leader, sometimes you have to put yourself out first. You can't say, oh yeah, I need to do my hair, oh I need to cut it to make it sharper. No. Being a leader means you have to put yourself out there and you have to be in the front, leading from the front. And if you cannot do that, don't bother to go for leader. And I know a lot of people that, you know what, I can't stand this stress. I'm happy with where we are. For 30 years, they're in the same position, but they're happy. But if you want to lead, it's not for everybody, but it requires sacrifice. So duty become before comfort. Leadership requires that. And that's also about promoting others as well, making sure other people feel great, feel, blessed, feel elevated as a result of your leadership. Because you have to elevate other people as well. As
you're moving along, you have to take them. Now, as it is with the Africans in the diaspora, obviously, it's a long road. And it has, it's a bumpy road, it has all that. But somebody would say, when I looked at your biography, with the past experience, it becomes easier because you've gone through those stages. Now, somebody who holds a PhD somewhere in politics or something like that may come in because he's looking at his professionalism as a PhD holder in politics and so on, and he will say, oh, I've got to learn, I've managed this. Now, in your past experience, what is there that cannot actually be taught in schools? Because one thing about leadership, again, most people, my dad used to tell me most of the time, is that there are certain things which you are not taught at school, but you learn them on the road as you go along. How to raise a child, how to do this. There's no manual. They could put something out there. Now, I'm looking at that. You're now a, you're now a mayor.
Because the question you're asking me is similar to question this young mentee asked me this afternoon.
Really?
He sent me a few questions which I had to answer. And I'm going to give you a similar answer that I gave her. If you go back to the former Prime Minister John Major. When he was interviewed many years ago, in terms of his qualification, because he didn't go to Oxford or Cambridge and so on.
I remember. I think I must have remembered the interview.
Remember the interview. If you could say, you can see the kind of elitism that is, in politics and everywhere. If you don't go to certain universities, certain college, they don't believe you're a human being or you have anything to offer. And I remember the classical answer I gave them, that he learned a lot through the University of Life. Through University of Life. Now, when you then look at, in fact, I don't think there was open university that time. There was no open university. One thing I noticed that now part of the answer I gave, what we learn in the confined environment of our big institutions, Oxford, Cambridge. I went to Oxford as well. I don't know if you noticed that. You didn't notice that. Even though for a short while, actually when 2019, I went to Oxford. It's Blavatny School of Government. That's because they have different colleges.
They have.
But I just thought, just to show off that one as well. But on a serious note. So, only 25% of our knowledge will come from those big institutions, established institutions.
And then, books as well, I should say, books.
Then what is left? 75%, isn't it? Out of 100. Where is it going to come from? University of Life. And that's John Major said. And why do you think even our own institution now, our college and university, no matter how educated you are today, you'll be left behind if you don't do CPD, continue professional development. As a requirement. no matter how qualified you are, your university will advise you, make sure you continue to improve yourself.
Okay.
Because they recognize that what they give you, the best university, what they give you today, if you don't build on it, it's the foundation they're giving you. Tomorrow, it'll be obsolete.
Yeah.
We have chat GT, what's it called?
Which one is that?
The new technology, chat GT or something like that.
Okay.
Well, we have AI, and then we have DeepSeek.
Yeah,
DeepSeek is now the new one, which the Chinese have developed. Gone are years ago, you don't know, we even hear anything about AI, isn't it?
No, we don't know, none of us.
And there's so much that you can gain by using AI. You can easily get something, information, instead of looking for, let's say you want to use that dictionary, and you're looking for paper dictionary. You can easily tap on your phone, and what you're looking for, and get all the details. You see how... some people don't even know how to use that.
Of course.
Some people don't even know how to use computer. I remember when I was going to school, I told you I started education very late. The first time I ever come across typewriter or anything was when I was doing my MBA in 1993.
Wow.
And it was because it was part of elements I have to pass. And that's when I came across typewriter. When I was working in Nigeria as a young sales apprentice, what the title that time, forgotten now. That time, I always had in my head that when I become the sales manager, I'm probably going to have a secretary that will do the typing.
We'll be doing most
I didn't
of the work.
have to do any typing, How many people can afford in this country? How many people can afford a secretary in this country? No, tell me.
Very few.
Look how many things we have to do ourselves.
Unless you're prominent somewhere on top, you can't afford it. You can't afford one.
That tells you that we have to move with time. Therefore, moving with time means there are a lot of things happening in our political, social environment that we have to be conscious of and learn from. So what we learned yesterday, by tomorrow, even what we learned today, by tomorrow, is become obsolete. We have to continue learning.
Of course.
And therefore, learning is a continuum.
Of course. I want to learn something, in your opinion. What can Africa adapt that can work effectively in Africa with our traditions and cultures? Something within the political circle, because you've worked within these areas and you've been successful and you're a mayor now. But there are certain things which work here. And when you take them to Africa, there's a wall, there's a brick wall. They can't, somebody can say this is a cup, but to an African, it might be a plate. It doesn't look at it in the same way, But is there something that can easily be adapted in Africa that will bring Africa slowly? Because if I live here, and I've been living in the diaspora for the last 30 years, and I say I'm going home, and suddenly I'm being given a position of authority somewhere in my village.
I've already been offered a position. Are you trying to tell me? Steve, is there something you want to tell me?
No. It's just because I inherited things from my father, land and some other stuff. And the thing is that I was his heir. This is last year when he went. And there are certain things that are expected of me in my tribe, which I'm expected to do as a leader. But there are certain things that I'm looking at as a leader, which would ideally work here very well. But when I put them on the ground there, they can't work. Not that they don't want to. They know that these things are supposed to be there. Now, it's simply a question of, do I have to study a human being? I have to study my aunties, my cousins, my sisters. There is that element. Now, you've been in a position here. That is what the reason I'm asking that question is that there is that human element that maybe you know of, which I can sit down and say, Mr. Lambe told me this, and I think I'm going to make a point of using it. Do I have to deal with social workers? Do I have to deal with psychologists so that I get their brains in certain areas so that I can operate nicely without being disturbed?
let me answer your question very indirectly before I then come back. I've been studying the way okay, we say there's unemployment in Africa, in Nigeria, and so on, and then you live in Europe for a long time, you feel sorry for them. Sometimes they will ask you for money to pay this, to do this. One, I discovered that they actually live better
than us. Yeah, it's true.
Because most of them think money grew on the tree. And we have, so that's number one I pick up. Then number two, you now say, okay, let's do a business together. And how we invest in that business, my share is 50-50, which I've tested. And then it's not because I needed that money.
No.
The reason why I say 50-50 also is create fear in them that we own it together. It's not just yours. So you can't just do
what you want.
Even my family go and sell that business without even telling you, and they blow the money. Then a year after, they're begging you for more money. You empower them. You know, when you give somebody fish to eat, wherever way you got it, you give them fish to eat. They will finish eating it. But if you then show them how to fish, they will fish forever. That's why you're investing in them. Do they appreciate it? No. So coming back to one thing I also discovered, you set up that business, you don't have to be expert in everything, but you need to have the right people, with the right mindset that can work with you. One of the things I learned in this country, we are very disciplined. Over there, they're not. The meeting is supposed to be 10 o'clock, right? 10:30, maybe that when they're all, let's say 10 o'clock, I have a meeting at 10. You're supposed to be at that meeting for 10, which means you should have left home. You have to, how long is it going to take me? Am I going to drive? Am I going to take public transport? How long is it going to take? And by business, professional ethics suggests that you need to get there 15 minutes before, isn't it? Before the meeting.
Of course,
But they haven't even left home at the time they're supposed to be at that meeting. You have to, this is what I'm sharing with you. You have to mentally, psychologically, physically, emotionally prepare for this. That is why you see some of our people, they go there, they go and set up business a year or two after, they run back. You don't want to be you. Especially at this age. We are in our 60s, I believe. Yeah, your 60s.
Of course,
yes. So I always say look, there's no second chance for me.
There's only one chance now.
Only one chance now. If I say I leave here tomorrow, maybe I go to Africa. But I can't pack my bag today and say I'm going back to Africa. Africa, I've not lived continuously for 39 years. And then pack my bag today and say I'm going there.
Unless you have $1 billion with you, maybe you can succeed.
Even if you have a lot of money saved somewhere, the way cousins, all of them will be coming to you. Even when you set up a business, you employ them so that they can eat, they can feed their family, they be stealing and all these things. So you have to be physically there. Then that's where the trust element we talked about earlier
comes in.
Why we are not even also successful here. Because imagine 10 people, black people in this country, putting their money together like the Asians do, and then buy this business or this, by the time you get to 10 years, look how many. You will have owned the whole of Peckham.
Exactly.
But now, they will have a little shop. I'm begging some Asian owners to let them, when you propose to be owning
the one owning,
And if you're not careful, I think your country, you probably had that experience in the past, doing Idi Amin.
Of course, when he got rid of the Indians.
I'm just refreshing I'm just refreshing the memory.
I understand.
That, the war and everything, and how investment was taken out of the country and so on. We don't want a repeat of that.
Of course.
That is why we want to make sure the system we need to put in place that recognizes ownership and give up confidence.
Yeah.
And also reassure the investors that when they invest money there,
they'll get their money back.
Returns on their investment.
Yeah.
Is secure. Working with the government at all levels to make sure they put systems in place that reassure not just foreign investors but local people as well. When you set up something, one chief is not going to come tomorrow. I need that piece of land. No. Or you bribe somebody before you can go through the door. Like the experience you shared with me earlier about somebody that looked like you, but denying you your right. And then when he then saw somebody that looked different, one person without colonial mentality. It's a long-term process. Education will be part of that.
The mindset.
Colonial mindset, we need to change that. But it's through education, like you said before, we have to also go through that. So it's a long process, but we are the journey of 1,000 miles.
It starts with one step.
So we have to start. Right. We have to start from somewhere.
Everything has to be, for example, the way I look at it. One of the things that we haven't explored properly is that when you look at culturally, I'll say this as an example for myself. The moment I became my dad's heir, of course there were elders who came to me and they were talking to me and giving me advice. Do this, do that, do that. And traditionally, that is something that every young man or every person who becomes the
head of the family,
head of a family, goes through. Now, I tried to explain that much there would be things done differently because now I'm in charge. And the thing is I'm looking more at my generation rather than their generation. They want to see things like the way they are in their generation. So that's why I was saying that if we are to have anything to be adapted from here, our generation or even the next generation, and the traditions that we have, you know, where I can stand up to one elder and say, no, I can say, no, I think we don't do it this way. We do it this way because this is a new generation. But again, that comes with education. That's why I was saying that having been within the political circles, there are people even who are older. Within our laws, as unwritten laws, is you respect your elders. That's a law. It's there. When he talks, even if my dad was alive and he's talking, I will keep quiet. As soon as he finishes, I even beg him. Can I say something now? Then he says, "Oh yeah, go ahead." You know, I have to get permission. But we are looking. I'm looking at. These are some of the things that I was sort of saying. A young man now going, your son, for example, going to Nigeria and try to adapt to become something there in Nigeria. These are some of the things that somebody watching us would think. How do I overcome some of this stuff? Do I have to make sure that, you know, I sit with members of my clan and say, I have authority over here, and decisions that are going to be made, I need to talk to the elders. If I talk to the elders, they'll say, no, don't do that, because your father never did that. But he lived in another generation. Can we really see something being adapted from here that can work there?
I can understand. You have to thread very carefully. You need time to analyze the situation. You see, there are some elements of the past that are still relevant today and will still relevant tomorrow. And there's some elements of the past that they belong to the past. It's through your evaluation.
I didn't think of that,
It's through evaluation you need to look at things very carefully, very objectively, and then look at what worked in the past and work today and may work tomorrow and keep those. Because there's no point reinventing the wheel. Sometimes when we want to throw away everything that is ours, we become somebody else. Take for instance, not everything that you see in Europe will fit with our own environment background.
In Africa,
Yes, not. Anybody that thinks we want to carbon copy everything here and take it to Africa,
it won't work.
It will fail. No, it will fail. However, that doesn't mean you can't find something good there and build on it. Using your experience in Europe and then make it better. Make it work better. But you can't do that unless you first of all understand these ones. You need to do what is called I've forgotten what you need to do an evaluation.
We're running out of time. I wanted to put this in a little bit. Your biography, Unbroken Dream.
You do SWOT
for
analysis.
My sister.
SWOT analysis I was looking for. SWOT analysis.
SWOT analysis.
You need to
is
do
what,
that.
Okay.
Strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat.
Okay.
And then you do that, and then you find what is good and what is not good, and what opportunities are, and how you can use and mold something better, build on what is already there. If it's already there, if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Okay. Lastly, your biography, Unbroken, A Dream for My Sister. What we need to learn from this? There's a lot that goes on. I was telling you earlier on there something I didn't want to mention about being broke, it's quite an experience.
Broke but not broken.
Broke but not broken. It's something that's partly a humane way of putting things the way you put them, and the experiences that you went through, and.
Have you got a copy? It's on Amazon.
No, you get.
Oh yeah, I remember I sent you.
When you are launching.
I gave you a copy.
When you're launching.
Did I sign it?
Oh gosh, I can't remember.
If I didn't sign, let me know.
I can't remember now whether you signed, but I'm
sure I probably sent it to you. Anyway,
we probably did. But I think we met in Peckham at some point. There was something going on, and you had copies of it. But you must have signed it. I think so. Well, what I'm looking at that is that something we have to learn from it as people. Anyone else would want to buy it and learn something from it. What was the major thing that you wanted the world to know, and they wanted, rather than just writing a biography of your past to put it in the present, but a lesson that one can carry with and say, you know what, I think Sunny said this thing, and I can really see it objectively it's working, or in a negative way or somewhere, but at least it came out. Is there something? Because back home there were negativities, of course, and even there were positiveness in the way you were brought up, the way you came up, and so on. Partly of what you never wanted, but of course it's there. That's a reality. Now, then of course there were other things that came up, and of course the brokenness, and that is one area where I looked and I say, oh my goodness, but I don't want to go into that. I just want to know the lesson someone can learn from that if it's to buy a copy.
You know, when let me start with my inauguration as mayor, just Megan, my speech, and I said my motto is God, family, community.
Okay.
As a Christian, with God, all things are possible. You overcome so many challenges. With your family around you, whether I have different definition of family, doesn't have to be blood related. Your next door neighbor that is there when you are sick, when you are hungry, when you are broke, is more of a family to you than your blood family in Kenya or in Nigeria that doesn't even know how you wake up this morning. You see that?
I see your point,
So, so that's why family has different definition. And then community. And that's why in Yoruba, Eniyan show me, my clothing is people around me. When I see positive-minded people around me as an African, as a Yoruba person of Nigeria, when I see them, it makes me happy. Arami Ayagaga makes me happy.
Arami Ayagaga.
Ayagaga, which means I'm thrilled, I feel full of life. I'll
be quoting that word Ayagaga. I know
Arami Yagaga.
Arami Yagaga.
Full of life.
Full of life.
Now coming back to the question you asked about my book. Now, Unbroken, a dream for my sister, 2 parts. Despite what I went through, family broken down.
Yeah.
I didn't start school at the age of, until the age of 13, 14.
Yeah.
If you look at all the letters after my name now, I mentioned Oxford, I mentioned PhD, I mentioned Master, MBA, and so on.
Yeah.
A lot of people thought I've been reading all my life.
Yeah.
And then going to the position I find myself today, I haven't even had time to enjoy it, to be honest. It's like I keep on working. I haven't slowed down. Remember what we talked about earlier?
Yeah.
So I'm unbroken. Because if I was broken, despite those challenges,
you wouldn't be here.
Yes.
Yeah.
However, a dream for my sister. My sister went through a similar thing. May her soul rest in peace. Now, she went divorced. She went, abuse and so on. Now, I realized, despite the fact that both of us went through that, but I came out better at the end.
Okay.
And she never had that opportunity. But it's her
did.
dream was able to be realized through me.
Okay. Okay.
A dream for my sister. Because she made a lot of sacrifices. Actually, when we wanted to go to school, I was told, this one will be beating all the it's too big to go back to school now.
Yeah.
And my sister said, you deny me that education, don't deny my brother too.
Yeah.
And then she paid.
What a lovely one, yeah.
That's what you find in that book.
Yeah.
Of course, maybe I didn't explain deeply, but that's beneath that title and that book. Okay. Unbroken, a dream for my sister.
Okay. Thank you very much for coming down here and telling us all about it.
Thank you, Steve.
And I'll recommend anybody to buy it. It's been a pleasure, of course, hearing all this, and I hope that Africans in diaspora have learned a lot from what we just discussed. I just want to say thank you very much for viewing us, and I hope we'll be together again next week for another edition of Africa Speaks. Thank you, and may God bless you all.
Thank you, Steve. Nice to talk to you again.